the show. I'm Manny.
I'm Terrence.
And here are the goods. So last weekend, I really thought that Annabelle was actually going to stay number one.
I thought so too.
And Hitman's Bodyguard came out of nowhere and blew it out. 21 million to get the number one spot.
21 million?
Yeah.
Isn't that like Sam Jackson's actual fee to do the movie? He probably...
Probably, just to say mother effort.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's like, we made back what we paid Sam Jackson to be in this film. Now we gotta start working on Ryan Reynolds and his money.
How about this one? Rotten Tomatoes, 39%.
A lot of people wanted to see this film. Obviously not a lot of people because they only made 21 million, but hey, it's number one, I guess.
They look funny to me. I've heard a lot of people coming out of the theaters and they were actually saying that it was pretty freaking hilarious.
They need to tell some other people, have some other people come see this movie so Ryan Reynolds can have a hit.
After Deadpool.
Yes, after Deadpool.
Number two was Annabelle, dropped to number two, 15 million. It's already made 64 so far, so that's not too bad.
No, for a movie that costs next to nothing. It costs pennies.
Yes, it cost 15 million. That's how much it was to make. Now, I think that it's going to freaking hold up for a little bit. Then it's gonna drop once it starts.
Yeah, it's gonna disappear once it comes out.
But if it does withstand it, and it gets into October, Halloween might boost it up again. So you never know.
I'd be out of theaters by the time Halloween comes around. Hopefully they can hurry.
No faith in Annabelle.
No, it'll be out of theaters by then, dude. That's 2 months away.
All right. Premiering also was Steven Soderbergh's Lucky Logan. That one premiered.
I almost forgot that movie came out.
Yeah, it premiered at $8 million. Lucky Logan, no Hugh Jackman in this one.
No Hugh Jackman. By the way, talk about salaries and stuff. They got Adam Driver, they got
Taters.
Taters and Daniel Craig. It's like $8 million. That was enough to pay the food cart people. And that's all they made.
It was bad, man. And I think a lot of it had something to do with Soderbergh wanting to market his own stuff and go through different distributors.
I saw, as a person who doesn't have a cable, I saw trailers for this film. People knew this movie was coming out. Nobody cared.
93%. It was a critic darling.
Okay.
But the critic darling sometimes they don't
do well at all. Look at Homecoming. Everybody loved the movie. Not enough people went to go see it.
Yeah. And that's a shock to me because I really thought Holland was great. But
yeah.
Fourth was Dunkirk, 6.7 million.
Still making money.
Still making money there. Nut Job 2 rounded out the top five.
Nut Job 2 is still making money.
Why is that movie still?
Because it's between that and Emoji Movie. So.
Yeah. And I actually finally saw Emoji Movie.
Did you see all the product placement and all the advertising for every app that you could think of?
It was not that bad. And you know what?
It was not that good.
I would even talk to you about making it a you don't hate.
Oh God. God. Is Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and Twitter, and every other? No, Twitch is a streaming thing.
Oh, is it really?
Yes. Are they paying me to do that? You don't hate because then I'll do it because they paid them people to make that movie.
Wonder Woman in great news. Wonder Woman actually passed the 800 million mark worldwide, so that's pretty friggin' awesome.
You think it'll hit $1 billion?
No, I don't think it will.
You sure?
I do not think.
I didn't think it'd still be making money till now. Look how long ago that movie came out.
800 million. I think 850 maybe, but I don't think. I think it does not hit 9. I don't think it hits 9.
Okay.
So, this week coming up is a faith-based movie called All Saints with John Corbett, I think, the guy from My Big Fat Greek Wedding. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, so it's gonna be a very slow week. Birth of a Dragon.
It's gonna do well because faith-based movies they get supported.
Yeah,
it's like those movies are always profitable.
And Miracles in Heaven. Yeah, you're right.
They're always profitable, so you're gonna see that one in the top 5.
Yeah, but Birth of a Dragon is the one that's gonna be the high anticipated one for me anyway, because it's based on true events.
Based on true events. There was things that happen that we will reference, and that's it.
Yeah, like the character's name is Bruce Lee. That's it.
Bruce Lee. He knows martial arts.
He knows martial arts, and he fights Wong Jack-man. For those of you who don't know, back in the day, Bruce Lee actually he was teaching people outside of his race. He was teaching African Americans. He was teaching Latinos. He was teaching everybody, Caucasians, everybody. Don't teach the Quailo.
Don't teach the Quailo.
Anyway, so they
my motto in life: don't teach the Quailo.
The Asian community, I guess, were pretty upset with him, and they had this fight that he wanted to teach whoever he wanted to.
Right.
So that's what this movie is basically about. So it's really interesting. Check it out. I'm pretty sure the martial arts is going to be freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's cool that they actually just have, because his life, I mean, it was so interesting. There's so many things that happened throughout his life. If you look at the Netflix series, they focus more on his early life. If you look at Dragon, they try to do the whole thing, and this is just focusing on one particular part of his life. Until we get sequel, Birth of the Dragon 2, Birth of the Dragon 3.
Or the toddler years.
The toddler
to the dragon.
Kind of like how they did Ip Man. It was like you had to see every different era of Ip Man and everybody he taught.
Hey, that's going to be freaking awesome. I can't wait to see that movie. Well, another reimagining that's going to be coming out pretty soon is Knight Rider. Now, this they
did this before.
The Knight Rider reboot will happen, and they're going to make it an action comedy, more along the lines of 21 Jump Street. Now,
that's everybody's gold standard. We're gonna make it like 21 Jump Street. Everybody says that. Let's do a Chips movie. We're gonna make it like 21 Jump Street. Let's do a Baywatch movie. We're gonna make it like 21 Jump Street. Let's do a Knight Rider movie. We're gonna make it like 21 Jump Street.
And what's your number?
How about we just make a movie that's really good? Stop trying to make it like 21 Jump Street.
And what's your number one movie TV adaptation?
21 Jump Street.
Exactly. Anyway, so yeah, but you're right. And these movies has actually been failing. I mean, Baywatch, I really was surprised that The Rock did not, his star power did not elevate that movie.
I just think it got a couple of bad reviews, and then everybody just avoided the movie after that. Like I said, they gave good reviews to Chips, and that movie sucked. That movie sucked.
Well, David Hasselhoff, original star of the 80s Knight Rider show, actually wants this particular reboot to be more along the lines of Logan.
Okay,
gritty, that kind of thing. Foul mouth.
Michael Knight stabbing people in the head.
chopping arms off.
Taking shotgun blasts to the chest.
Now, back in 2008, this was actually rebooted, kind of like a sequel, and it was a TV show. They really didn't last. It only lasted one season. So they've actually tried already to make Knight Rider.
Was it Knight Rider 2000?
Yeah, like that, but it was horrible. First of all, Kit's not a damn Mustang.
They made him a Mustang.
I hate that. It should have been a freaking straight up brand
Hey, they made Bumblebee a Mustang. We didn't complain about that.
It's Camaro.
Whatever. He wasn't a Volkswagen Bug.
You know what? They made Bumblebee a Camaro in the first Transformers, and they gave us an updated Camaro. Give me an updated Trans Am. How about that?
They will.
All right.
They will. Trust me.
Guess who's going to be writing that? Because right now they want John Cena to be Michael Knight.
No.
Yep.
Not at all. Not at all.
With all the tint, you can't see him.
No. I'm okay with John.
You can't see me. You can. Hey.
No, I'm okay with John Cena taking over Mark Wahlberg roles, just kind of like Dane Cook took over Ryan Reynolds roles. I want John Cena to take
Diet
over.
Ryan.
Yeah, Diet Ryan.
Dane Cook.
I want him to take. I'm okay with him being in the Bumblebee spinoff film.
I'm okay with that too.
I don't want him to be Michael Knight. I want him to be new characters. I don't want him to be, because it's hard to let go of him seeing him as John Cena. Like it was hard letting go of The Rock being new characters.
Can you still do it right now? Can you honestly differentiate The Rock from the characters he plays?
Because The Rock, we're beyond Dwayne. But we still saw him. It's kind of like Hogan. We still saw as a wrestler for a while until he did a bunch of movies. The Rock. So he tried to be Dwayne Johnson, but The Rock is bigger than Dwayne Johnson. And Cena right now, John Cena is bigger than him.
John Cena?
I was trying to say his real name. I was like, wait.
He's bigger than the Marine.
That's his real name. I mean, he's
John Cena's bigger than Cena.
There you go. It's bigger than his the wrestling persona is bigger than his acting persona.
And right now.
Yeah, right now. So, and you need to give him original characters. You can't put him in something that's going to be it's iconic. You can't give him an iconic role and completely change. Michael Knight was some buff dude. It was like he was just a regular guy who had a cool little haircut and a leather jacket that drove a Trans Am that talked.
Okay. Who would you put as Michael Knight?
Oh my God! Who has cool hair right now?
Pratt?
No, I can't do Pratt. I can't even do Pratt.
You can't do Chris Pratt as Michael Knight. I could totally see you.
I can't do. You know what? Give me Sebastian Stan.
That's not that bad.
Give me Sebastian Stan.
But
I don't say it because he's right here. No, a little bit of a haircut. Yeah, give me a haircut. I mean, because I think there's extensions in his hair anyway. But no, give me him. I think he'll pull it off. He's not overly buff, and he's still. I mean, he's only really known for the Winter Soldier.
That's true.
I mean, so this could be another character for him. I think that would be a pretty good idea.
Well,
or give me the kid from Baby Driver.
Your reaction, yeah, he's actually pretty good. Your reaction for the John Cena casting was priceless.
All right,
but I have a feeling that this one is going to blow the roof off the boom boom room. Kevin Hart is Kit.
Oh God. I don't want to see this movie already.
They're looking at Kevin Hart
the script now. Just whatever money. What's money? We wrote a movie. How are they spending money on this stuff? Why? Who greenlights this stuff? There was like, you know what? We gotta get something with Kevin Hart in it. It was like we want to do this Knight Rider movie. It's like, who can we get in it? Who's hot? Who's popular right now? We get John Cena and we get Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart as the voice of Kit. So what you said? What did you say, man? You said something about his voice, like Secret Life of Pets. You were okay with?
Yeah, I was okay with it because of the character he was playing. It was funny for that particular character.
So you know Kevin Hart's voice. You know he was in Captain Underpants too. So now, which you could really tell that was Kevin Hart. Mm-hmm. So now, as the voice of Kit,
no, because all it's gonna be like Kevin Hart's talking to me through my car. I'm in hell. I'm in absolute hell. Can we get the dude who played the voice of
I'll take fucking Vision.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say
give me Paul Bettany, but he's Jarvis, so you can't do that.
Or you know what? Give me I was gonna say Loki, but what's his name?
Hiddleston.
Give me Hiddleston.
I'll take Hiddleston.
It's like
I'll take Michael Caine.
We need a British voice to do this.
Colin Firth from Kingsman. Give me him.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
All right.
I don't know, but give me a nice straight British voice. Not that his sexual preference, but give me something that's straight laced and then British. That's what I want. You know, CGI back. I was gonna go back to Star Wars. CGI Tarkin's voice back in there.
Peter Cushing and Kit. That's hilarious. Oh man. Either way, tell us what you think. Who should play Michael Knight? Who should play Kit? Or should this Knight Rider reboot even happen?
It should not. Just trash this idea. Give me my Critters reboot.
Well, one reboot that's highly anticipated right now is the It reboot. Yes. Stephen King's It reboot that's actually going to premiere September 8th.
All right.
So you got Stephen King classic coming back. Mm-hmm. We have a possible Elm Street remake coming up pretty soon, possibly. Leatherface is coming back. Right. Chucky is coming back. Mm-hmm. The one person that's not right now is freaking. Oh, even the Michael Myers in Halloween Returns. That's coming out pretty soon too. Where is Jason Voorhees? Jason Voorhees, nowhere to be found. 2009, Derek Mears played him. That's the last time we've seen anything on Friday the 13th.
So you want them to just reboot the whole series? Like what? We're like 15 Jasons in, or how many? What was the last number? What was the number on it?
Oh God, are we counting Freddy vs. Jason?
Yeah, it was like 12.
It was like I think 09 was 13. I think.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I think. I mean, I don't. Or it might be 12. You might be right. It might be 12. But either way, there was a version of the film that was actually was supposed to come out either this year or next year, and this film was actually going to be set in the 80s to give a more nostalgic, actual Friday the 13th feel to it, much like Stranger Things, part Jaws, which a lot of people are copying Jaws lately. I don't know, the Spawn thing where he's part Jaws, or they're taking inspiration from Jaws. This particular one,
47 meters deep, with shallow.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, part Stranger Things, part Jaws, all Friday. So that's what they were. That's what they were potentially.
It's
looking
Jaws
at.
on Friday.
Yeah, Jaws on Friday.
Is Smokey gonna be there?
Like I said before, the last time was in 2009. What style would fit for Jason? Would it be the 80s, the modern, or the supernatural?
Well, you can't do Jason without doing supernatural.
But if you're gonna kind of do a reboot type, would you reboot it as the supernatural Jason or the 80s Jason?
Like just make him just psycho mass murder, killing people. I would prefer that.
The 80s?
Yeah, I would prefer that. And that's what got the series popular. That's what made it to where we all wanted to see the next Friday the 13th film. The supernatural aspect was the reason for us to keep getting sequels. Yeah. It's like, because he's supernatural, that's how he can keep living and keep coming back for all these sequels after we definitively kill him every movie. So I think it's more about, I want to see, an 80s camp. I mean, if you look at Wet Hot Summer, that did really well on Netflix and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. That stuff comes back, and it's like we like that era because we're all 80s children. So you put it back in the 80s, you have a psycho killer at this camp, and you have at it. We don't get movies like that anymore, and if you do it now and do it with a really great script, it can work. The supernatural aspect is kind of where it gets hokey. That's where it gets dumb, and that's what
Elm Street though. It does not fit.
I mean, it fits Elm Street because he's a dream.
Right. So it fits Elm Street more than it fits.
But like for just slashers and stuff like that, just scare me with the fact that this could really happen to me. I don't need to know that this guy can keep coming back from the dead. You use that and you use it sparingly to like, he's dead now. Oh my God, he just came back. Not that we keep axing him down and then he still keeps coming back, because then I lose the scare factor of it. So I want to see something.
He had phone books taped.
Yeah, exactly. It's like he had the Bible under the jacket. You know, I want to think that this guy can die if they really get up and try to kill him, and then oh my God, he's still alive. That's what I want to see. I don't need the supernatural aspect. I want to know that it's realism, that where it could happen to me if I was in the 80s back at some camp where the counselors were too busy fornicating than actually paying attention to me. Well, I didn't go to that camp.
Would it be worth dying for? Yeah, maybe. Anyway, so basically, it looks like this property is on hold. It's on hiatus right now. Even though that particular idea of a story would have been pretty great, I think. Executives, I guess, changed at Paramount, and Platinum Dunes was ready to go, but executives at Paramount obviously changed their team, and it just on the back burner. So who knows when we're gonna get it? Right now, if you want to get it kind of like an updated Friday the 13th. Updated version of Jason, try to find the video game. It's absolutely it's absolutely freaking awesome. The kills are amazing. Yes. It's great. And my favorite version of Jason is always going to be part 7.
Oh, I like
the bones. Kane Hodder, perfection in that movie. Sticking with Friday the 13th, October 13th is actually Friday the 13th, right? So
on Halloween, that'd have been awesome.
So the original Camp Crystal Lake, original Friday the 13th, I believe it might have been even the first 4 Friday the 13th. I'm not too sure. But the original Camp Crystal Lake was filmed at Camp No Be So-So.
No Be So-So.
No Be So-So. So on October 13th,
I want a shirt that says that, No Be So-So.
No Be So-So. Boy Scout camp, I think that's what it is.
Oh, okay.
On October 13th, 2017, there's going to be a one-day only event in Hardwick, New Jersey. That's where the camp is.
Okay.
And you actually get to visit the actual Camp Blood.
Wait. The camp was in Jersey?
Camp was in Jersey. He's from Jersey.
He's from Jersey. That's why he's killing people. That was his attitude. That Jersey attitude.
Did he spray tan?
He spray tan.
That's it.
He's right under the mask.
Kill Snooki.
Under the mask, he's got tan lines. He's got tan lines.
Tickets are emailed to fans who buy a minimum of $50 purchases, I guess, for either the camp or I think it's for the camp. And, you buy $50, not including shipping. They email you a chance to buy a ticket. Other than that, you better be lucky, because it's not going to be that many tickets out there. So good luck if you're trying to go to this event.
I'll agree to
I would go to Camp Blood though.
I would too. Now for the remake, it's like now they're gonna do all the camp counselors have to go Guidos, Juice heads, because I'm a big Jersey Shore fan.
Oh, man. So the that's a reboot obviously that we want to see, and like I said before, it's they're basing it. The original idea was to base it off something like Stranger Things, Netflix original, right? Everybody's trying to get original content going on. Amazon,
right?
Netflix, it's just all
$2 billion deep in Netflix.
That's right. Apple now wants to contribute. Well, not contribute, but they want to invest $1 billion to produce original content.
Okay, I can see it, because you have the Apple TV. That's another reason to get people to actually jump on board, because now with Amazon and Chromecast and Roku and all these other different streaming services, what's to distinguish Apple TV anymore? So they need the original content, so that way we're the only people that have this content. You need to come over to Apple TV to be able to see it. So I definitely see it. I don't have a problem with it because it gives people who have been trying to get these ideas out there, trying to get studios to pick stuff up, trying to get different networks to get on board on these particular ideas and get turned away at the door. It's another avenue for them to actually get these ideas. And a lot of this stuff that comes to these streaming sites actually really ends up being really good. And you wonder, like, they were like, hey, I've been pushing this for like 10 years to NBC and they said no, or to HBO and they said no, or to Showtime and they said no, but Netflix picked it up. But Amazon picked it up. So it's another way for, people who have great ideas, they don't get passed over and they just turn it into nothing. I'm definitely okay with it. I'm not buying an Apple TV. Sorry. I hope it turns out really well, and if it's that good, it'll get picked up by it'll get picked up by multiple services.
And a lot of and you're absolutely right, because when you have original content, they start getting a lot of that notoriety also, and they get awards. There's a lot of Emmy awards. Atlanta, the Jeffrey Tambor Transnation. Oh my God, what is that show called? Transamerica Trans. I can't remember what it's called, but either way, sorry Jeffrey, I love you. I love you in the Ropers, but.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a lot of these get awards. They get some good solid people over there, and that's exactly what it is. Sometimes those freaking other networks, they don't give you a chance. But when you have other outlets to actually use as a resource to get your stuff out there, hell yeah, man, I think it's a great idea. You mentioned we mentioned Netflix earlier. They look to spend $6 billion in 2018 next year. $6 billion. That's how much.
Got to keep me giving up that $10 a month.
But Apple is they're looking to compete with these guys. Think about the amount of accessibility that you could have for all of the customers that have Apple iPhones.
Okay.
Macs.
Yeah,
I mean you can just imagine.
It's another way for them to sell an iPhone. It's another way for them to sell an iPad. Because we, hey, sign up for iTunes. Get an iPhone, get an iPad. You have iTunes, or buy a Mac laptop, and then you get access to our Apple shows.
You could even get.
Would it be called iShows?
iShows. Forget it. But get your.
Hey, if y'all do that, I want my money. I'm copywriting that now. iShows.
Hashtag iShows. Get your first 4 episodes of original content.
Yeah.
When you buy an iPhone.
Exactly.
Stuff like that. I mean, the accessibility to the product and everything, it could just expand it and enhance it completely. So I think that's actually a good idea. HBO, check this out. HBO spent $2 billion on original content.
Of course.
$10 million per episode for Game of Thrones.
I mean, that's why we only got 7 episodes this season, because they spent so much money on those dragons. And so, I'm glad that TV has had a resurgence, even in these different formats. TV's had a resurgence. I'm really, really glad about that. Unfortunately, movies taking a dive, but TV's had a resurgence, and I'm all for anything that you guys can do to compete against each other only benefits the consumer.
Yeah. So hey, it's gonna come pretty soon. Be prepared, all you iPhone users. I'm an Android guy.
Yeah.
I can't stand iPhones. Yeah. I'm sorry.
So whenever it gets released on Hulu or Netflix, please let me know.
Yeah.
Then I'll watch it.
Exactly. So Forbes came out with their top highest paid actors.
Okay.
2016 was
Jennifer
The
Lawrence.
Rock. 2016 was The Rock.
Okay.
He was overtaken in 2017 by Mark Wahlberg.
Because of Transformers, and they paid through the nose because Transformers is $1 billion a movie franchise.
So it was released by Forbes, the annual report. Wahlberg had Transformers The Last Night.
And then he's got the sequel to Daddy's Home.
Daddy's Home. He's executive producer of Wahlburgers.
He's an executive producer on Ballers too.
And Ballers too, exactly. With The Rock.
Yeah.
and
I write your checks, man.
And he had the AT&T commercials.
Yeah.
He does the AT&T commercials. The Rock, so Mark Wahlberg earned $68 million so far from year over year, was it June 2016 to June 2017. The Rock, $65 million. He had $64 million last year. He earned $65 million. Fate of the Furious, Ballers.
I almost wanted to say, only $3 million? $3 million is a lot of money.
So that's 1. 2, 3 was Vin Diesel, $54 million.
I can see that. He gets, because he had the sequel to...
Fate.
Well, he had
Triple X.
Triple X is what I was looking for. So he had those 2 sequels, and both those 2 sequels, I mean, obviously make a lot of money. So, I mean, he just needs to throw. If he'd have thrown a Riddick sequel, in there, he'd have been number 1.
I don't think Witch Hunter was part of that.
No, I mean, Witch Hunter didn't do well at all.
Yeah. Okay,
but wait, they may have paid him a lot for it.
Yeah, true.
They may have paid him a lot. He probably didn't get the residuals and stuff that was coming off of it, but it's like he probably got a nice check for it, but it wasn't enough to overcome what The Rock and Wahlberg had done.
So we were talking about Netflix, right? And you know, it's really surprising for me because number 4, Adam Sandler.
Because Netflix keeps throwing money at him.
For like Sandy Wexler, the do-over, whatever.
He had a 6-picture deal with Netflix.
$50 million at Sandler. I hadn't seen Sandler in a movie in so long, and I mean, right now I can't remember the name of the movie, but he just finished an indie movie, or he just did an indie movie that was in Sundance or Cannes or whatever.
It's gonna be on Netflix.
Probably, but it's like he's getting like rave reviews, possible Oscar consideration.
Okay.
So that's actually really good that to see that. I just haven't seen him in the big screen so long. Like you're right, because it's on Netflix.
It's all on Netflix.
But
he's probably getting $10 million a movie.
$50 million.
He's probably getting $10 million a movie.
So Jackie Chan round out the top 5, $49 million. That must be some Hong Kong stuff, because
he's doing more serious martial. He's doing dramas. He's doing dramas over there, and when he does do martial arts, it's a dramatic martial arts film.
You seen the trailer for The Foreigner?
Yeah.
Damn, that movie looks good.
And it's one of those things, and it's like he is still a big draw over there, and I can see why. And it was like, so I mean, it's him and Jet Li, and I mean, obviously there's some other ones that, I mean, if you live there, you would know. But they're Donnie Yen. It was like those are the biggest stars that they have over there. So why would they not be the top earners? It was like anything that they're in, they're gonna go support. So I mean, especially if it's something that was produced over here, they're gonna support it. If it's made over there, they're gonna support it. So
he's also doing a lot of voiceover work. He's gonna be.
The Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, he's gonna be coming out in Ninjago, coming out in September. So yeah, he does a lot of that stuff. But that's awesome too, man. 40. That dude's been in the biz for freaking decades.
All them broken bones paid off.
Yep. Hear that, Tom Cruise? So the
Tom Cruise makes money.
I know, I'm just kidding. So the top 10 actors, this is the sad part. Top 10 actors did $485 million. The actresses did $172.
Oh, goodness.
Hollywood, get it together. The ladies need love. They need money.
Hey, we didn't talk about when Jennifer Lawrence was at the top.
Number 1 right now is Emma Stone with $26 million. Gal Gadot will for sure be in there next year. But $300,000 for Wonder Woman, that's a freaking robbery, I swear.
That's how they get you. Marvel gets people like that all the time. Don't put that on Warner Brothers. Marvel gets people like that all the time.
What do the ladies need to
Chris Evans is still fucking complaining about his paycheck. Only person getting paid in Marvel is Robert Downey Jr. He's the only one getting paid over there. Everybody else is like, I'm gonna starve for my $300,000.
I got. You know, it's kind of hard for me to. You got the ladies deserve to make a lot more money.
They do, but they have to. But you need to really start establishing yourself like Angelina Jolie did when she was
Sandra Bullock.
Charlize Theron.
Yes, absolutely.
You need to establish yourself like that. Unfortunately, there are not roles being written for women to where they can be the lead actor in something, or they can be where the franchise would revolve around them, where they can demand those salaries. They're the girlfriend. They're the wife. If they are in action, yeah, exactly. If they are in an action film or something where like it's a major thing, they're a supporting role. They're not being cast as leads. So I get why they're not being paid that much, because they're not being the main character in it. But damn it, Hollywood, you really need to start making roles where these women can actually be the main ones, and don't get trapped in these contracts where you sign for little because you want to build your career and you want to actually break out, because then later on down the line you're gonna be complaining 5-6 movies deep and you're like, I'm still making less than $1 million for this film and this thing is grossing $1 billion. So that's where women are getting screwed at. I'm sorry, that's where it's happening.
I think Wonder Woman's gonna change that, hopefully. You know, Atomic Blonde unfortunately failed really bad.
It was not a good movie.
Yeah, it failed really bad. It had nothing to do with Charlize. I know she worked her ass off in there. It had nothing to do with her.
No, just the story.
The story was pretty bad. The flashback scenes. But anyway, that's another story for another day. You don't hate Atomic Blonde, but it's really hard to say that, you know, okay, what can make women be the draw. you know,
An interesting story. Like Wonder Woman was an interesting story, and it put light on a character we cared about.
I think Patty Jenkins being a woman, female director, I think that helped too. And then she went back to I mean, you really see a lot of Donner, a lot of Richard Donner, like an essence of Richard Donner. Hell, she wants to direct Superman, so perfect. Do it.
I can
do it.
I can see it. I'm not mad with that.
Yeah. So anyway, hopefully the ladies get some love next year.
What they need to start doing really is that all these movies that they come out, that they cast a man at, they need to look at and say, can we do this same role but with a woman?
Yeah, and you know what? There's enough talented actresses that can possibly.
Can we do the same role with a woman?
Absolutely.
I mean, unfortunately, we got to think about Scarlett ScarJo and
Ghost in the Shell.
Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah,
That bomb.
let's not do that. Well, never mind. I'll leave that alone. Terrence, take us home.
All right, definitely make sure you guys comment below. Tell us what you guys think. I know we kind of ramble on a little bit about the different topics on the podcast, but we want to know how you guys feel. Definitely, we'll keep the discussion going online on the YouTube channel as well. But make sure you subscribe so that way you know about all the other things that we come out with. Sometimes the podcast gets too full. We have other topics that we couldn't fit into the particular podcast.
So we separate
them out a little bit. We talk about it. It's kind of like a little after credits, a little post credit things. Yeah, we rant about things. Make sure you subscribe so that way you know about all those other things that come out if you're only watching a podcast, because if you're only watching a podcast, you're missing a whole bunch of other things that we got going on.
Send our RIP condolences. RIP. Some RIP.
There you go.
Some RIP condolences.
That's what the kids are saying now.
To Sonny Landham, who played Billy Bear.
Right.
Billy Bear in 48 Hours. Billy in Predator.
He just couldn't get past Billy.
Died at 76 of heart failure. Was actually recently in a bad car accident that caused his legs to be amputated. Ooh. And he was living in a hotel room. So at least in a better place, no more suffering.
Yeah,
that's already done.
That's a bad way.
Comic icon Jerry Lewis passes away, 91.
That's a big one right there.
Grew famous with the duo act of Martin and Lewis.
That's all of the Rat Pack, right?
You know what? I would say that he was an extension of the Rat Pack. Absolutely, I would say that. Went on his own. Nutty Professor, the Bellboy. You know, inspiration for the Nutty Professor that Eddie Murphy did in '96.
Yeah.
Helped millions and
Jerry's Kids
and the telethon for muscular dystrophy.
Yeah.
Earned millions and for the kids and stuff. So have they found a cure yet?
Have they explained why Jerry's hair is still black?
Well, that's too easy. I'll leave it alone. But rest in peace to the comic icon, another comedy icon who broke down barriers, especially in the African American community. Dick Gregory passed away, 84 years old. Pioneer, civil rights activist. Yeah. Hilarious man.
Yes.
And you know, he's gonna definitely be missed. There's a lot of comedians, African American comedians that actually have him as one of the influences.
I mean, he was one of the ones where like that was one of our first ones we got to really. Fox, prior and Fox, but like on TV.
Yeah, absolutely. So rest in peace to those legends right there. Their movies are gonna live on. Their movies, their acts, everything's their records. They're gonna live on forever. So. For Aspen and Art, who we have no idea where they're at. I'm Manny.
I'm Terrence.
And that was the goods. Forget it. Let's just go.
I mean, if you want to just talk about it, I'll talk about it, but I don't have a list of like.
Nah, screw it. We'll just do podcasting this one.
Just do the video.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Right away.
Can't talk too much.
Okay.
Ready? All right. Can you say 3, 2, 1, action? Okay, go.
3, 2, 1.